Good evening. My name is Madeline Parker. Welcome to my channel. This read tonight is going to be for the sign of Leo. And I like to think that my reads pertain to whatever planet you have in the sign that I'm doing the read for. Your sun, your moon, whatever house that sign covers in your chart. And most importantly, for your ascendant. So this read for Leo makes these current Pluto and Saturn in Capricorn. Actually, Mercury is in Capricorn too right now. So Capricorn covers your sixth house. So that is the house of day-to-day routine, your health, job, employees, enemies, hidden enemies. So now with that with Pluto in Capricorn hitting your sixth house, that's going to be releasing deep karmic fears around the sixth house issues. So possibly work, possibly fears about your day-to-day routine, perhaps fears of, now remember we're looking at the south side of Capricorn that we're letting go of, which is going to be addiction, status, image. What else would be the south side? Over strict, unspiritual, really, more materially focused. So we're releasing all those tendencies. And then we've got Jupiter in the mix because Jupiter is also in Capricorn. Jupiter is also in Capricorn, so that's going to bring everybody to sort of their higher calling, right? Their greater reason for being here, the benefic, the expansive, what we're here to expand, help expand. And so Capricorn, then we've got Saturn in Capricorn, which is going to create structure. So for you guys, all this is happening in your sixth house of day-to-day routine. So in my opinion, your lives are going to completely change in a day-to-day routine way. Now, let's throw your health in there too. It could be for your health. So you're releasing possibly addictions. You might be quitting addictions that are detrimental to your health for the long haul, committing to the change. You could be quitting, seeking positions that give you more status in your workforce. Instead, now you're going to be much more focused on, fixing the entire, being of more service. Sixth house is also service, and making sure that the whole is good, because that's what Jupiter is about, expanding the whole, the greater whole, caring about the higher purpose of our being here. Okay, let's take a look and see if, just to quickly add, if you would like a personal read, my email address is below. I will also be hosting workshops in the Silver Lake area of Los Angeles. So if you would like to know about them, they're going to be spiritual workshops, teaching divination, teaching how to work with your spirit guide, how to balance your energy, how to raise your vibes, healing your wounds. The list is long. All right. For the sign of Leo, let's have a look. So that is the Page of Swords. Wow, that's the Pluto energy right there. Ten of Swords, Strength card, Hermit. I was about to say Pluto. Strength, Death card, Queen of Wands, Leo energetic, energy, fire sign feminine. Wow, we are looking at some pretty big releasing of some issues, some fears. It's funny because this transit really is kind of bringing a lot of some of our buried, in order to release the south side of our Capricorn issues, which could be addictions, it could be relationship addictions, it plays out in many ways. In order to sort of release some of these ways of being that were not motivated by faith, as it were, which is the positive side of Capricorn, which is to reach our pinnacle, to be the best that we can be, that is on the top of the mountain in a way that we are proud. In order to release the negative way of being, It's going to come with a real shedding of a real, this is a big shift. This is hitting in, these are two very strong placements in my grid. We have the Ten of Swords hitting in your perception and in your thoughts. So basically what's happening is you're having a complete and utter shift in thinking. You're completely rearranging your mentality, your, something is and then we get the Death card, which is the Pluto energy, is literally in your heart spot. So you're literally releasing deep, shedding deep, old habitual ways. So I would think that's very possible you could be quitting addictions, but quitting things that are not good for you, quitting things that are not in your best desire, not your higher desire. Understanding the difference and the negativity in the thinking that was involved in the choices that brought you more into your south side. So now we've got we've got the shedding of an old way here. That's what this transit is about, pretty much across the board for everyone. We're really shedding an old skin. It just depends on what house it's shedding for you. And for you guys, it's in this 6th house. You're coming out into the open as a loving, because we've got the Ten of Cups here in the divine section wanting you to know what this transition is bringing you to, which is more of a Ten of Cups experiences, which is a heart-fulfilling, home living experience, more fulfilling. With the Strength card in the divine section, that is the Leo card. So big thing that's happening for a lot of people with this transit is people are just shifting into their heart energy. Leo is all about the heart. Leo is about motivating from what it truly is inspired by. It's the fire energy. And Leo is a very creative force, and they love their own individual expressive message or what they are here to express. And the Leo is on the sort of journey to release these ways of existing, thinking that fear thoughts that made Leo make choices that were not in the most fulfilling for themselves. It did not necessarily ignite them passionately. It was just for money and work. So this is what, there's a disappointment with that. There's a spiritual component that was left empty, that's dying, that's changing, that's shedding. The Leo, here we come up to Leo, are headed towards a much more emotionally fulfilling experience at the expense of finances. It's almost like they're completely shedding a financial identity, and they're taking on a more heartfelt identity, and they're experiencing, because they've experienced the full journey of how disappointing life is with just financial pursuits. There's a spiritual element. This is the Jupiter element coming in. There's a spiritual element that's needed. Now, there will be a new financial abundant opportunity. You are safe here. Whatever sacrifices you make or whatever risk you're willing to take right now, you're facing a fear, a repressed, hidden fear that has prevented you from operating in this way that you now have seen through. You've seen through the repressive energies that you've existed in, and you're now ready to really, really go forward emotionally more balanced. You feel safe. Somehow the universe has come through to you here in this transit to tell you that you are safe to take new beginnings here with emotional stability. No longer throwing yourself away from emotionally fulfilling. Let's see how long I started to time my reads. Okay, good. So you're no longer willing to live life with emotional emptiness. That would be a way to see it. Now with the Nine of Swords right here and the Hermit card right there, the Page of Swords, this is communication card here, so that could represent communication or writing, but it's also thoughts. so it could also be just quickly thoughts coming in quickly because of these transits, making you realize that you have had a habitual way of thinking negatively that has you motivating in a way in your heart that wasn't your truth, knowing now that there's a message coming through from the divine that you're strong enough, and then there might be a period of internal focus or internal alignment, internal connecting to sort of find your true strength that aligns you with your true self, because here you are as the Queen of Wands, that is a passionately motivated, creatively inspired feminine, creative energy. That's even the sort of you could be a fire sign masculine watching this, I mean Leo masculine watching this, and we're just talking about your creative feminine force. Able to, again, I'm just kind of going through the read again, able to sort of assess that your finances are good enough, that you're fulfilled, it's been emotionally disappointing for you to operate in the world just seeking financial security. It's like a whole nother level of life for you to want to live, these brand new beginnings. This is the awareness of the thoughts that disappointed in the past, awareness of what has aware of what has disappointed in the past, and the thoughts that created the disappointment opens you up to sort of understanding new, fresh beginnings. It feels safe, creatively and emotionally fulfilling, enabling you to go forward against your fears, knowing you need a spiritual element to your professional work, knowing you need to operate from a more spiritual caring of the world. We were talking about Jupiter, that there's a purpose for you, that there's a greater purpose for you. And it is feminine, so we are talking about these shifting energies going to feminine energetic lead, which is one of the things I talk about in my workshops. But this is very much an energy of stepping forward to be the feminine that cares about the greater whole, the feminine that's motivated for the abundant of all, and for the sort of total environment to be blessed, the total life to be blessed. And that's what's being sought here for Leo. And it's a beautiful read, guys. I love this message. All right, let's take a card from my Wisdom of the Tao. See what that has to say for you guys today. I did not want to come out. New journey, right on top of that Ace of Pentacles. So let's see what it says. You have known of this new venture for some time, and you have prepared well for it. Resonate with your calling and move forward without looking back. Your courage and determination will be celebrated. You know, if you've been on the fence about taking yourself forward to something that you know is sort of in your heart, and a creative passion that feels like it does help heal the world. It is a spiritual, emotionally fulfilling spiritual force. You just had to face some fears around this new journey. This is ready to go now. You're ready to sort of take this forward. This is the journey that's going to start your new life, this new chapter that this Pluto conjunction transit is really initiating in everybody's life, is a whole new decade. So you're beginning a whole new creative financial beginning and world and life that's based on truth, higher calling, spiritual purposes, cooperating in groups, working with groups, emotionally releasing your fears around turning your back on some sort of projects because of the spiritual nature, or somehow realizing that you turned away from things out of fear that were fulfilling. They were spiritual, that are creative, and also financially abundant and informative. All right, Leo, hopefully this read was helpful to you. Thank you for watching. Happy New Year. Namaste.